In any PvP video game or sport, or really anything that could even be considered a contest by any stretch of that word, there's going to be trash talk. Now the question is trash talk actually toxic? Well, in my opinion, this is a pretty easy answer, but trash talk is absolutely not toxic. Now, obviously, that's one simple answer for a question that has humongous gray areas, like what specifically is trash talk as opposed to personal insults or even whining by that matter, and what is toxic as opposed to something that's just annoying. We got to cover all that, but let's start off with what is toxic as opposed to just annoying. So in my opinion, something that is toxic is something that can either get you banned or is behavior that led to a rule change that can then get you banned. Because if you're doing something that's so bad that they have to change the rules around it to then be able to ban people for it, that's pretty toxic behavior as well. There's a rule like this in basketball. A lot of people refer to this as the Zaza Pachulia rule because it wasn't a technical foul, but there was definitely times where somebody would go up for a jump shot and he would stick his feet underneath them for just a common foul where they would land on his feet, and they would call it a common foul, but they upped it to a technical foul. And if you do it enough, you can even get tossed from the game. Doing something like that, well, it wasn't bannable when I was doing it, yes, but it was bad enough that it led to a rule change where it is now bannable. That is definitely toxic as well. But there's rules like that to all games for reasons. They're there to either protect people's safety or protect their time or their mentality. It doesn't mean that people can't do stuff that's absurdly annoying and not be able to get banned for it, because that's true too. But something that is just pretty annoying is definitely different than something that's genuinely toxic, because something that's genuinely toxic is either bad for the game or sport or whatever thing it is involved in. If it's toxic, it's bad overall for that entire thing. And that transitions into defining trash talk really easily. Trash talk by itself, there's nothing wrong with it. It might be annoying, but it's not going to actually hurt you. You'll survive it. There's a bunch of little rules that we throw on top of it, but there's really only one rule that matters that keeps it trash talk and keeps it from bleeding over into personal insults or even just whining, which also isn't trash talk. But there's one rule. We call it the Rasheed Wallace Principle, because Rasheed Wallace can define trash talk better than I even really could. So let's look at Rasheed Wallace and what he says about trash talk.
It's like a home crowd. When we're playing on the road and you might have that one or two people behind the bench and they always in your ear, and sometimes you don't want to hear it. That's what I do out there on the floor, and that gets my teammates into it.
Do you ever worry about, I don't know, you probably don't think about it during the game, but is there a line that you don't want to cross where you don't want to show up another guy or?
No, I don't say bad. I don't talk about nobody's mom, wife, kids, or nothing like that. So, I just talk about maybe that person in their game or defense. It is a line, and I don't cross that line.
So what Sheed is saying there is basically how he's not going to cross any lines. It's going to stay basketball related. He said, I'm going to talk about that person and their game. I know some people are going to be like, he said that person. That means you can go insulting that person and it's still trash talk. He said that person in their game, and the only example he gave was defense. Because Sheed definitely talked tons of trash, but he never really made anybody mad because he didn't cross any lines and it wouldn't turn into insults. He wasn't out there on the basketball court attacking people's beliefs or appearance or anything like that. Because if he was, there'd be a lot of people that actually hated him, but there wasn't. When he'd be sitting there talking trash in a game, he'd be talking trash right next to somebody, and the person who he's talking trash to is laughing at his trash talk because he knows it's not crossing any lines and it's just staying basketball related.
Get all the down there. Leave him alone. Same thing.
A lot of caucusing going on down there in the painted area.
It don't matter to me. I ain't scared of y'all.
And obviously refs didn't take it as well either, because he would trash talk the refs as well, and he had more technical fouls than any other player, and it is not even close historically all time. And yes, I'm definitely biased. Rasheed Wallace is one of my all-time favorite players, so much that I decided to actually wear his jersey while recording this video. But I thought it'd be really fitting, since his golden rule is what I always like to stick by when it comes to trash talk. I even thought it'd be fitting to wear my current favorite trash talking piston underneath Rasheed Wallace. So I got my Isaiah Stewart Detroit style beef stew jersey underneath, because he's our current enforcer and trash talker. When it comes to trash talk, Rasheed had everything right. As long as it stays game related, it's perfectly fine. You will survive it and it will not hurt you. See, the most important part, particularly when it comes to video games and sports, especially when it comes to trash talk, is video games and sports do not matter. So there's no purpose in taking it that seriously. But people do. People take video game trash talk and sports trash talk way too seriously. That's why you get people getting stabbed over some sports trash talk at a bar. Now, obviously, that's nitpicking a little bit, because in most of those scenarios, I almost guarantee that alcohol had a huge role to play in that, but it still doesn't change the sentiment that somebody got stabbed over some sports trash talk. And we're not saying that trash talk is polite or anything. It's definitely rude and definitely petty. But the thing is just like video games or even sports for most people, it's an outlet. It's not supposed to be real life. So if you're like me and you work in customer service and you were bartending a 16-hour double in Times Square, you have to put up with a lot of rude comments from customers, and it's your job to just be the bigger person and take it, because if you don't, you're either going to get fired, sent home, or written up, even if you gave them the exact same energy that they gave you in the first place, because it's your job not to. When you come home and you're playing some video games, which do not matter, and somebody else is playing maybe a little annoying or something, and you want to talk a little trash, that's fine. It's petty. Obviously, it's not the most polite thing in the world, but it's an outlet. It's a way for us to vent and get things out, especially if the game itself is going poorly. But that's when you really want to be talking trash, and we'll get into that a little bit later with the extra rules. But after taking other people's crap for 16 straight hours, if you want to talk a little video game trash, there is nothing wrong with that whatsoever. When I mean trash talk is meaningless, I mean you can be the nicest person in the entire world, and then you go to see a basketball game, and someone takes a shot and they miss everything. They don't hit the rim, they don't hit the backboard, they don't hit anything. And you going, air ball, does not make you a mean person. You're still the nicest person in the world, but everybody goes that to have a good time because it's meaningless. Now, a funny example to picture would be someone like Gandhi. Gandhi was obviously trying to do his best to change the world for the better, but if you wanted to use video games as an outlet and he loaded up some Dead by Daylight or some Halo or something like that, and he wanted to play as petty as he possibly could and talk as much trash as he possibly could, that wouldn't take away from anything he did IRL or make him a lesser person or any of his accomplishments be dampened because of his online personality through his trash talk in a video game that doesn't matter. It would still be Gandhi and he'd still be doing the great things, and a little online video game trash talk wouldn't change any of that whatsoever. Plus, it's really funny to picture Gandhi with a headset on being like, "Get good, sonny." But as petty and as rude as trash talk really is, as long as it stays game related or whatever type of contest that you're actually competing in, as long as it stays game related, then it stays trash talk and there's nothing wrong with that. The problem is people end up crossing lines all the time. And if you're going to insult somebody, it's not trash talk, because trash talk is supposed to be meaningless, meant to be thrown away in the garbage. That's why it's appropriately named trash talk. But if you start personally insulting somebody, that's not meaningless and meant to be thrown away. You're trying to hurt somebody's feelings. That's not trash talk. Going after somebody's appearance or beliefs or anything like that, that is not trash talk. That's going past the line, and now it's personal insults or even harassment it can be. And that right there is definitely not okay. But that goes back to what we were talking about with toxic. Because almost every single platform on video games or sports or anything like that, if you're going to sit there and say a bunch of hate speech, because if you go in there and start calling people the N-word or the F slur or anything like that, you're going to get banned. That's what I mean by if you can get banned for it, it's definitely toxic. Whereas trash talk is not personal insults, and that's why it's not toxic, because it's meaningless. It means absolutely nothing. You shouldn't let your feelings get hurt by it, and nor should they cross any lines to start personally insulting you just because they got too upset over the video game themselves. Now, while personal insults is different than trash talk, so is whining. Whining is definitely not trash talk. Let's take me, for example. I definitely whine over video games. I whine probably every single day that I play any video game, because there's going to be something that's a little annoying that I'm going to complain about, and I'm going to end up sitting there whining. That's not trash talk either. That's just 33-year-old full-grown adult whining about video game. That's not funny. That's not fun. That's just whining. Now, the fun thing is, me and my friends, if we ever got whiny growing up, whether it was playing basketball or playing Mario Party, specifically chance time, we all know chance time was BS. We've all had that time where you lose an entire game on a 50-turn round because you traded stars with last place on the very last turn with chance time. We've all been there, so we all know how annoying it is, but if one of us started whining about it, you better believe the three of the rest of us were gonna start piling on them because we thought it was funny that our friend was whining about the video game, especially when we had all been through that ourselves. And I highly encourage that, particularly in my streams. Like, if I'm getting any type of whiny whatsoever, call me out for it. We see it all the time. We see baby rage emotes, we see pacifier emotes, jokes about me needing to change our diaper. Like, that's what friends are for. If your friends can't roast you, then who can? And also, if friends are going to let you sit there and act a fool without saying anything to you either, are they really your friend? We even like to call this one rule the roommate rule, where even if it is actual genuine BS, something that anybody would get frustrated over, we call it the roommate rule, where if you're being like, I'm not sure if this is whining or not, is it over the boundary? If you're getting even a hint of that, make fun of me for it. That's what friends are for. We call it the roommate rule because I'd be sitting here whining about something like this. Bruh, how in the world does that hit? This is what I mean by brainless. How in the fucking world am I hit by this? How in the fucking world? I need to get a diaper ready, because what in the fuck is that? Or this. What the fuck was that? Are you fucking kidding me? But my friend doesn't actually see how BS that truly is. We call that justifiable whining. He doesn't see that. He's doing laundry. He's walking right by me doing real necessary chores that he has to do in real life. And while he's doing that, I'm 33-year-old full-grown adult whining about video game. And he would laugh at me, and there's no point to be like, you didn't see it. It was actual BS. It was actually bad. There's no point in explaining that. He just sees me being like, what the fuck is that? Are you fucking kidding me? And then he laughs at me, and it's funny. That's what friends are for. To remind you that you're getting this whiny over a video game at 33-year-old fully grown man. So if you're ever in my stream and you think I'm getting even the teeniest little bit whiny, call me out for it. That's what friends are for. And here's one last important thing about whining. Everybody's going to whine. No matter what playstyle you have, there's going to be playstyles, maps, or perks, anything like that you are not going to like and is going to make you whine or complain. That's natural. That's just what's going to happen when you play video games. But the most important part is don't let someone like me, an online talking head, grown-ass 33-year-old adult, whining about perkin' video game, don't let that try to convince you not to use something that you have fun using. If it's not bannable, it's not toxic. So don't let an online talking head that doesn't like something try to convince you not to use it, especially if you're having fun. We didn't buy the game for you, so definitely don't get caught up being, oh, Tater doesn't like Drama Turkey or Dead Hard. Maybe I'm going to stop using that because he doesn't like it. I'm an online talking head. Fuck me. I didn't buy the game for you, and neither did any of the other online talking heads. If you have fun using something and you can't get banned doing it, do it as much as you can. Because we didn't buy the game for you, so don't let us take your happiness away. And that leads us to the additional rules that we have for trash talk. Now, the only important rule that I think should be universally accepted from everybody is as long as it stays game related, it's fine. That's the golden rule. We call it the Rasheed Wallace Principle. As long as that's being followed, there's nothing wrong with it. But we like to have a few extra rules on top just to make it fun, or else we'd end up trash talking all the time, which number one, I don't have the energy for because it's really tedious. Number two, we couldn't talk about anything like movies, music, video games, sports. We couldn't talk about any of that if I'm sitting there running my yap game after game. So the first additional rule we have on top is not talking trash to bad players or somebody that is playing very poorly. That's no fun. It feels like kicking somebody when they're down or poking them in the stomach when they're sick or something like that. Because if you're already doing well, that should be enough of a good time. You don't need to make a good time out of an already fun time. So what's the point in going out of your way to trash talk when you're already doing well and they're already doing poorly? That's no fun. It literally just feels like bullying. So if they got me trash talking, they're definitely doing something right. Obviously, with your trash talk, you're trying to make it seem like they're a bad player or that they don't know what they're doing. But in reality, if they got me talking trash, they're doing something right. Now, that is one of the only things I think about of being like a live streamer is the fact that obviously you can go see my VODs and I like talking trash. Now, when I'm talking trash, I really try to talk trash in games where I'm like positive that we're going to get annihilated. Like specifically, we're playing Dead by Daylight and I'm getting tunneled and there's only one generator done. It's like, okay, well, we're going to lose this, so might as well make the game fun by talking some trash. But the problem is every now and then you'll have those games where you end up coming back when you were starting to talk trash, and then it feels a little bit bad because it's like they might have been the person working a 16-hour double in Times Square, come back, have time to play one total game, and now they're having everything go against them, and then they go in there, here's this guy making fun of them the entire time. I have had this happen 4 times total in 2 years, where I was talking trash, and we ended up coming back, and you're kind of starting to get quiet near the end, like, uh-oh, like, I didn't mean for this, I'm sorry, mate. But it's very rare, and even then, as long as you're staying to the Rasheed Principle and staying video game related, ain't nothing to lose any sleep over. But specifically what I mean about being a live streamer and only doing it when you're losing is because if somebody's going to get upset over some video game trash talk, number one, that's kind of weak, but number two, if they also won the game, and they're upset over some video game trash talk, what are you even playing PvP games for? Number one, if you're sticking true to the Rasheed Principle and it stays video game related trash talk, you shouldn't lose any sleep about them getting upset about it anyway. But number two, especially if they won and they're getting upset over some video game trash talk, then online PvP games probably isn't for them. But that's probably the only way I really play it safe as a live streamer, just because I really don't want to be piling it on when somebody loses. So I usually take some of those games where you're already really far behind and the killer's using really strong stuff and you're just like, okay, let's talk some trash here. But you are risking them coming back and then you have to feel a little bit bad. I've had that happen 4 times in 2 years and it did feel a little bit bad. Now, another rule is keeping that trash talk during that game or until the next game starts. Because if I'm sitting there talking trash, when I move on to another game, I'm leaving that behind because I don't care about that last game. I was just talking trash to pass the time and have a good time out of a bad time. But if I'm playing a whole nother game and I'm still talking trash about somebody from the match before, clearly they did something so right that they got in my head and they're living rent free where I'm still talking about them the very next match. Now, we do have exception to this rule where if somebody comes in from the previous match and they want to trash talk, we'll sit there and trash talk. We'll give them one match to sit there and trash talk. And they can keep trash talking past that one match. They just got to keep it current. If you're talking about 2 games ago, that is way too long ago. You can sit here and roast me in my face. I don't care about that. That's a lot of fun. But we're not talking about 2 games ago. That is way too long ago. You got to keep that current if you want to stay in here. We even had this happen the other day where, of course, we were talking some trash and they won the game. But it was my last game of DBD. I switched to Guitar Hero and they were still in there talking trash. But hey, even though I was playing another game, it wasn't quite long enough. So we sit there and talk trash for like 2 whole songs. But after talking trash for those 2 whole songs, I was like, okay, now I want to focus and actually play one really hard song and play as well as I can. Because most games would only happen like once or twice, and it's on like every one of these survivors. Okay, kid. Yeah, exactly. That's how good you are with your diapers and everything. It lasted a whole 30 seconds with diaper and all. Hey, Flex Offender,
Try spelling easy without your E key.
How did I lose to those guys? I wasn't playing to win, or else I would have been tunneling somebody out. But I didn't. And look how angry you guys still got. Every single tile you went to, you got outplayed. That's why you had to have a diaper on. And yet you still only lasted like 30 whole seconds. Yeah, I would have tunneled somebody out. You're right. If I was playing to win. You must not play killer much, huh? And that's why you're in here yelling, even though we're not even playing DBD anymore. 10 for 10 rage bait. Yeah, you got baited. You're here, aren't you? Still yelling when I'm not even playing. You got any real trash talk? Am I ever disappointed with my life? Not really. Are you? Are you disappointed with my life? I'll sit here and talk trash to you while we're still playing a different game. So that's why you're in here salty about it, bragging in the post-game chat. After what, getting diaper value? And you say I'm the Reddit opinion? Come on, kid. Do you know how to talk trash? No, you just know how to use dead hard. Exactly why I call it a diaper either. You wear it in case you shit yourself and chase, which is exactly what we saw every single time we chased you. I can even play a fucking another whole video game, and I can still sit here and talk trash to you. And you have nothing to hit back with, but besides, you sound like a Reddit guy. Exactly. Look how mad you are. You waited for a whole song and you're still annoyed. What, are you gonna try to clip me and post it on Twitter? Oh my god. Saving this to go back? Let me send this into Spook and Jukes, guys. Oh my god, we're gonna nail him. He made fun of Dead Hard. You can't make fun of Dead Hard. Dead Hard takes skill. Don't let him get away with it. You can't keep getting away with it. Oh no, not Spook and Jukes. He's gonna nail me. Yeah, I'm still playing. I'm playing a whole nother game. You're still in here talking trash. I love talking trash. And I can talk trash to you and 6-star this song on Expert. So why are you wasting your time in here? You ain't no killer main. Oh my god, that's what they all fucking say. You're on a 300 game win streak, 12 hooking with no slowdowns, right? If only we could all be as skilled as you. Like catching the rage bait? How am I catching the rage bait? I love talking trash. It's literally in my tags. But they're still sitting here 15 minutes later, watching me 5-star songs. But you're getting me exactly what I want. I literally have trash talk in my tags. And you're going to sit here through a 10-minute song after watching me 6-star. Paranoid. Yeah, Flex left. No! Who am I going to talk trash to now? Yeah, that's the thing. Like, as long as it stays game-related, GG Nancy. As long as it stays game-related, I'm 100% okay with trash talk. Like, and that's the other thing, too, is not talk trash to bad players. You make them seem like bad players through trash talk. But same thing, if it's like a bad player, you don't want to pile on them, kick them while they're down. That's no fun. What should we do for the last song? I want to play one last one, though. Because I actually want to focus on, like, one song. But for those 2 whole songs, it was so much fun sitting there and talking trash, being like, I'm not even playing that game anymore. I'm playing a whole nother game and we're going to sit here and talk trash. Hell yeah, let's go. And the last rule we have is trying to keep name calling to a minimum. Obviously, you can say stuff like noob, nerd. I like to say fucker personally, because I think it's really funny that, like, if you call somebody a virgin, according to like Twitch and YouTube, this is like one of the worst things you can call somebody. You can get banned for that, right? But obviously that has real life implications in a negative way, and that's why they have it where you can get banned for that. That's why I think it's funny to call someone a fucker, because if you put the word fucker in a movie twice, it can't be PG-13. It has to be rated R, because the word is just such a bad word. We can't say the F word twice. But if you're calling someone a fucker, especially in contrast to calling someone a virgin, isn't this a good thing? You're calling you dirty sex haver. So particularly when I'm playing against somebody and they're getting really lucky in game, I'm always like, this fucker, noob, nerd. If you're afraid of getting called a nerd, once again, I'm not sure online PvP games is really for you. We are all nerds if we're playing online PvP games. Come on. I don't really say things like dumbass or idiot that much, but if I did something really stupid like this, apparently I've been getting this map a lot lately. Because I remember the last 2 days for any tile in the game, or full map. Oh my god. Well, that is my dumbass. And I went to that killer stream after that, and I looked at the VOD, and they were like, this fucking idiot. I would think that's funny, because I played like a fucking idiot. They're not calling me a fucking idiot. They're saying I played like a fucking idiot. Even though they might have worded it like, this guy's a fucking idiot. It's more this guy's playing like a fucking idiot. And that's why I think that's funny as well. But really, we can talk trash a lot better than just sitting there and name calling, particularly just spam name calling. That's not trash talk if you're just going to sit there and call them name after name after name. A 4-year-old can do that. You butthead, you jerk. Like, come on. Talking trash is an art, and we got to keep it artistic. You don't just sit there and spam name call like some toddler still wearing a diaper. You got to keep it involved and keep it going, keep it original. So while a name might get thrown in like nerd or fucker or something like that every now and then, you got to stay away from just spam name calling. And obviously there's tons of words that just by calling it itself is not trash talk at all anymore, because obviously it's getting way too personal. And going back to what we were talking about earlier, like the N word or the F slur, either of those, that's not trash talk, even though it was just one little quick name call. Come on, you know better. So in the end, as long as it stays trash talk and it doesn't cross over any lines and turn into whining or harassment / personal insults, there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. It is not going to hurt you, and you are going to survive. Trust me. So in the end, video game trash talk, as long as it doesn't cross any lines into harassment or personal insults or even whining for that matter, you'll survive. It's not going to hurt you. And what I mean when I say you'll survive and it's not going to hurt you, I mean, we live on a planet right now where there's actual war going on. There are children fucking starving to death. So pretending that a little video game trash talk is like the end of the world is beyond insulting to actual people going through actual problems. It's a little video game trash talk. You'll get over it. It won't hurt you. You'll survive.